and this is like the most fucking brilliant light que tengo aquí adentro.
No, but it looks good from here. I mean, from my perspective, it looks good.
Okay, brother.
No, wait, let's get started, man. Let's not waste any more time with you, man.
No, brother, no. Gracias por tenerme aquí, man. Do you want to do this in Spanish, in Spanglish, in English?
So my viewers are mostly English people, but once in a while with my Spanish people that I come over here in the YouTube, we throw some words here and there in Spanglish, so it's okay, man.
De pinga.
I know.
No, the pinga is good for us, bro. The pinga is good for Venezuelans. It's bad for Cubans and Puerto Ricans, but it's good for Venezuelans.
Oh, yeah.
How you been?
Oh, man. Everything's going well so far. And, I still work at the as a audio engineer over there. I just handle all the projects and conferences and all the meetings and concerts and whatnot that you can think of over there in the. So I handle all that stuff, man.
Bro, that's amazing, man. That's so good. That's a nice job, bro.
No, it's the best job I've ever had in my life. Like, it's my career job. I love it. I have zero, like, queja.
No, bro. So good. Oh, mira, se aclaró la luz.
Yeah.
It's because I intensify the backlight of the monitor.
Okay. Yeah, now that your face looks much more brighter.
Brother, qué bueno, man. Qué chévere, man.
Yeah, no. I love my job, man. I love being a live sound engineer, man. But like by the time that you and me met each other, I was still going around with music production. Still am to this day, but it's not my main focus anymore.
Okay. And you were also doing like live shows, like DJing and all this stuff, right?
Yeah. That was also part of the whole package of me being a producer and a DJ,
Perfecto.
But at a certain point, when you have to look it back and say, like, okay, what's the term for this for me? Is this a short-term thing or is it a long-term? Do I see myself 10 to 20 years doing this? If I see myself less than 10, then it's not really worth me pursuing it that heavily,
Too much of an investment, bro, just to do it for so little time. That's a reality. Like investment in time, investment in like sacrifices, all that stuff. And there might be something. Let me take care of this thing because I don't think Publix is paying you for.
And I just took their chicken tenders today, so.
No, I usually like every time we do stuff like that, we just go like, "Hey, it's naked bottle." The reality is, man, that for the amount of time that we put into this stuff, if it's not something that you see yourself doing for more than 10 years, it's not worth it. To be honest,
I agree,
bro. I mean, okay, like those 10 years are gonna make you billionaire, and you go like, "Okay, I'm just gonna work for 10 years, pero ya después me voy a dedicar a echarme aire en los cojones." Well, that's a different thing.
Yeah, exactly. So like that was my point of view. And but by the way, most of these young cats, like they started like young in their teenage year, like by the time they're 17 or 18 or 20, young adults, they're starting to get to do all the stuff that I started to do. And then by the time they're in their mid-20s, if they actually kept it going, their careers takes off. I started late, like we're already close to my 30s, and obviously it doesn't matter like what age do you become successful. It don't matter. But unlike the other kids in which, they live with their parents and they got, some financial support, I didn't have any financial support. I had to pay bills, so it was kind of hard for me to pay like the bills from the home, the rent, the cell phone, the food, the car, the gas, insurance, and of course the loans, the student loans I get from SAE, versus these kids,
which I guess I'm pretty sure I don't deal with that part of the school, but I know they must not be cheap.
No. I mean, depending on the company that you go, man. I mean, Salome, basically they force you to pay every month after you graduate. Like they don't care if you're broke. Like they need you. They want you to pay. If not, your credit score gets messed up, man. And bro, like it's shit, it's shit, but you got to do it. So as those times were happening, I started to see like, okay, what else can I do? I'm doing a lot of audio sound, like live sound entertainment, like working for freelance on Ultra, working at the Cleveland Hotel, doing some other shit on the side until finally I landed the job that I wanted, in which I'm very comfortable.
Nice.
The beautiful thing about my job is that it gave me the liberty to do many other things.
Beautiful.
That was like, I'm pretty sure like you can relate, like any engineer or wants to have a nice steady job and at the same time has enough time for them to do their freelance stuff. Like, sure, like you work at SAE as a professor, but you don't want to give away that, you know, like you want to work as an entertainer, as an audio engineer for other projects, a producer and other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, like that job itself gave me the opportunity to continue doing my production, and to a point that I stopped, and then I started focusing on the podcast because I feel like podcast is my calling call.
Nice. Bro, that's amazing. It's like those people that, you know, like they're like radio hosts or talk show hosts.
Right.
Podcast is the new that. Es el nuevo talk show, el nuevo radio.
Right.
Y man, I think podcasts like yo te voy a ser sincero, like I don't listen to many podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Pero bro, everybody around me, like they're fan of them. Like
really?
My wife is a fucking crazy fan of tons of podcasts. Like that's all she does. That's all she consumes.
Right.
Frank Socorro, listen to a lot of them.
Right.
Ray, like a bunch of people we have around. My partner here in the studio, like he's crazy about another type of podcast. Like he doesn't listen to audio stuff.
Yeah.
Pero like meditation and that type of stuff. And the cool thing is that is even way more segmented than radio. So when you have a market segmentation that's so detailed, bro, el podcast is super good.
I agree. And I've been listening to podcasts for many, many years, you know, from entertainment, for comedy, for laughters, for knowledge stuff, you know. So I never done this. I never knew I was like this type of person that I like to communicate. But at the more that I start talking to people and network with people and started to see how I interact with people, and the more stuff that I know about the industry, the more I want to speak about it, because I feel like, I don't know if you ever feel in this situation in which you know some stuff about the industry and you feel like, damn it, I want to talk about this with somebody, but you don't have anybody else to talk about. Or the people that you can talk about it, you only see them once every month or two. And basically, you don't want to talk about all that stuff. You just want to talk about, hey, how you doing? How's the family? Catching up, good stuff, you know? So that was kind of my dilemma. And I wanted to do a podcast in which I can just give away some of the stuff that happens in this industry. You know, not many people know what goes on, that they come in here blindly because nobody tells them what to do. Nobody guides them how all the stuff happens, you know, like very few places or information or resources you can get that. Like SAE is a school. It's a school that you could get some of the stuff that happens in the industry, but unless you work in the industry,
it's just basic tools. It tells you like, okay, this is a hammer, this is a screwdriver, this is this whatever other tool, and then this is how you basically use them.
Exactly.
There you go. Y ya después, man, like, o sea, si la vaina es así o es así y tienes que meter el martillo al revés, like that's something that you have to learn on the fly.
On the fly, exactly. So I basically interview a lot of people from the industry, like from producers to Frank,
and it's not everybody. And it's not only SAE. Like I graduated from Full Sail. I'm from Full Sail grad.
Full Sail is another place, you know.
When I came out of Full Sail, fue igual. O sea, they gave me the tools to survive, like my tool belt. Now, how am I gonna use that shit? Well, you figure it out as you go. Cuando te tiran en la primera sesión, and a big artist comes in, you go like, holy shit, I'm gonna have to use these tools.
Exactly.
Pero eso no te lo enseñan realmente en la universidad. En la universidad te dicen, este es el martillo y sirve para esto.
Exactly.
This is the screwdriver and this is that. You're gonna
tie up the screw, right? Exactly.
Y ya, pero mira que Yeah, it's different.
No, and another thing is like how you communicate with people, how you network. In school they tell you like, oh, the best way to get to people is that you network with people. That awesome, cool. How do you do that? Oh, you just do it.
How do I approach a person and not being perceived as a stalker, as a crazy dude? They're just like right there, like,
or
hey,
a desperate someone. You know, that someone
can I
that's trying to
buy
be
you a
desperate.
drink? Do you want a drink? Can I buy you a drink? It's like, bro, like, fuck off.
I mean, there's so many things that sometimes not even at school they teach you some of the stuff, you know, and you learn this on the fly, and then there's nobody above you that you can look up that can tell you or guide you, unless there's somebody who sees you, has potential, and can guide you a little bit and say like, hey, steer yourself a little bit like this. Hey, just be careful with this. Take a look at those contracts, read it. Don't just sign it, send it to a lawyer, yada, yada, yada. Like, this is how you network. This is how you approach them. Give something in return. Like, don't just go ahead and approach them like guns blazing like that. Like, no, like if you want to establish relationship, this is how you do it. Da, 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 da. So this is the basic stuff that I talk about this podcast, you know?
Nice.
And I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to guide this stuff to everybody who doesn't know this, because I know when I was in their position that I didn't know anything about it. Like, I didn't know anyone. In fact, I don't even know how I even got to do all the shows and all the people that I met and all the artists that I met in my life. I don't know how I managed to do that. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time with somebody, and that led me to all the other stuff.
Claro. Man, we should have recorded this 10 minutes.
Oh, it's been recorded. What are you talking about?
I see.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Because I think this conversation might be the most important thing we have said in the whole hour or the whole hour and a half or something.
I agree.
The important thing is, yes, the schooling is important. I think it is important. I think everybody should go to school.
I agree with that.
I think unless you actually started being a person that has a mentor in a studio, and you started very, very young in the studio, and you made your life that studio and that operation, and you learn through a mentorship, which is a very nice way to learn as well. Unless you're that person, I think going to YouTube and doing tutorials and stuff like it's not going to give you really the tools.
Right.
It's going to give you part of the tools. You have no criteria at that point to know if those tools are correct, or there's a lot of mañas and vicios. So schooling is important, but schooling is only going to give you a little part of it.
Yes.
No te va a dar the whole thing. And as you say, it is important to develop this stuff. Man, the networking. For me, I'm very outgoing. So for me, networking comes kind of natural, like for you. But I can see people struggling. I can see people that they just, I remember we used to have this thing, I think we're called In the Mix.
Yeah, I remember it.
The Grammys used to organize it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they don't want to invite me no more, but I'm not getting those emails anymore. But I don't know if that even exists. But they were called In the Mix, and it was on Thursdays or Tuesdays. I don't remember. And I went to a couple of them, and you could see people like approaching each other. For some, it was very natural. For some others, it was very weird, awkward. And it is an issue because there's a lot of really good people with a lot of awkwardness, like social awkwardness. And it's something that happens, and it's listen, and it's not something bad. It's just, it happens. Like some people, by the way, like we are all awkward in a way.
Yeah.
And to dedicate our lives doing music, you have to be a little bit crazy or weird or different.
Yeah.
Awkwardness comes with that, with that territory. So everybody's a little bit awkward, but there's some people that are really like awkward. They're introverts. And even though you would think, oh, well, this dude is an artist. Like he goes on stage all dressed up and he has this super explosive personality on stage. And then you meet them and they're they struggle communicating. Yeah. And nobody talks to you, not even in school, about that. It's like, it's what you say. Yeah, it's important to do networking. And then you do your project in networking and a plan like, okay, these are my 10 people that I'm going to I'm gonna be how do you say this? Like I'm gonna be contacting, and those 10 are gonna contact another 10, and I'm gonna have a huge business, bro. And that doesn't. It really doesn't work like that. You have to put yourself into an very uncomfortable situation to crack that awkwardness, or use it as an advantage, because your awkwardness could be something very interesting that could bring people come to you, instead of just you having to go there and being seem weird, like, oh, this weirdo, what does he want?
I mean,
I don't know, man. We have to embrace our awkwardness.
Yeah, I can relate to that a lot, because at first I couldn't talk to people because I didn't have anything to talk about, and I'm very awkward. I'm very into myself. But if you get me a couple of drinks with me, oh man, I'll be talking to everybody their ears off. And I'm meeting my favorite artist in the whole world that I admire, I look up to, even to this day. I met them so many times in the same year that at the first time I was very nervous and I was kind of awkward, and I had to get a few, drinks so I can actually talk to the guy. And he was so cool about it. Then afterwards, when I meet him a couple of times at other parties, I was like, hey, I remember you. You were that day at that festival. You were kind of nervous shitting your pants or something like that. I'm like, yeah, I remember. It was one of those days that I was nervous talking to you. It's like, oh, well, you're talking to me now. It's like, yeah, man, I overcome that fear, like, and then we just get it over, and sometimes it works, Sometimes it works. You just have to be confident about it and acknowledge that, like, yeah, I know I'm weird, I'm awkward, I get it, like, I'm trying to learn. When they see that true nature of yourself, they appreciate it more, because they're not treating you as a fan, they're treating you as a human being, and they see you as being as a human being. And then that's how they can connect some of this stuff. Another thing that I always tell people is, like, if you're gonna talk to some people, or if you're gonna do business, it's like, don't go over there, like I said earlier, guns blazing, go raw and just like, hey, here's my business plan. Here's how we're gonna make stacks. Like, no. Hold on. Hold your horses, bro. This is, look. You want to do negotiation with someone? Bring something to the table that they may be interested about, that they can work with you. So let's say that, all right, you're a producer and he's a producer. All right, he can do the same things that you can do. Like, what can you bring to the table? You can tell and say, hey, I love your music or not. Like, if you ever come over to my city, if you're ever going to perform, let me give you like a lift, a tour to the city, and guide you to the show. Let me be your chauffeur, all free. Or hey, I hear that you're looking for some vocal samples. Here's a bunch of vocal samples on a zip file that has like over 100 of them. Use them as you see fit for free. It's right there. Offer them something that they may be interested, and they will be inclined to hit you up back and say, like, hey, I love that you do that, man. Hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah. And
I say that because that's exactly how I got into some of these labels. I offered them my service to do some vocal sampling. It's like, hey, I did this. I have like over 200 vocal samples I did of shouts and pre-vocal drops and stuff like that, and with effects and whatnot. Here, that's it. I didn't ask any fan else, and they're like, oh, appreciate it. Like, are you a producer? It's like, yeah, I do dubstep, this and that. It's like, oh, you're releasing anything? Well, here's my music. Boom.
Yeah. So the samples open the door. And also you talk about the samples and the whole thing, and I think a way to open that door is through collaboration as well. Like, because you're talking about giving something out without the expectancy.
The expectation, right?
Expectation of getting something in return, like immediately.
Yeah.
Right. Like you gave away your samples without the expectation of being paid.
Yeah.
For it, right?
Exactly.
But when you do that type of stuff, and I'm not being, you have to be like Machiavello, no? Right. I'm not saying that you have to be all like this calculator and see what a relationship can give you and all that. You have to put your human touch to stuff. Like, you have to do this because you feel it right. You feel it correct. Sometimes we collaborate with people, and just for the sake of man, like, bro, there's an artist which by the way has your same last name, legal last name.
Really? Pagan?
Yeah. Christian Pagan from Puerto Rico. Like we do a lot of things with Christian, and with Christian is this case that, bro, like we're not expecting anything in return. Like we're just doing this because we feel that with him we can do art, and he feels the same way. Now, this stuff that we have done together, it has been very positive. Like it has brought other stuff, probably even bigger than if we were going to charge him, or if he was going to charge us for a feature.
Right.
We've been doing these beautiful pieces of music that they're soon to be released.
That's great to hear. Let's go.
Hopefully this is going to be released early next year. But we've been doing amazing stuff, and that stuff has opened the doors to other projects without us intending that. Like we just wanted to do art. We just wanted to make music.
Right.
We just wanted to offer something to his project, and he wanted to offer something to our project. And that was it. And so that happens that other people have listened to that stuff and they go like, hey, I want that. Hey, I want that. Hey, I want that. Y eso como que open the door for other stuff.
Right.
O sea que siempre, even if you're not calculating to get something in return, if the things are done with a good vibe,
right,
and the things have the quality that they need to have,
yes,
they're going to open the door.
Yes.
So all you need to do is put yourself out there. Keep releasing. Like if you're an artist, bro, like try to release music. There's a case right now of an artist that I'm really following her because I really think she has something. Patty B, and bro, she's releasing music. I would say almost every week.
Wow,
like a new freaking song, bro. And she started getting traction, and now she's like in the cover of some playlists that are important, and it's because she has been doing this consistently. So
right,
you say okay, I gave this to these record labels, this vocal sample stuff, but if you only gave that and then you just disappear and you do nothing else, that's not going to bring anything to you.
No,
and even
of course,
if you bring something, you will not be able to build something solid because you haven't been working. You're just expecting that thing is going to bring something. And what if it never brings anything?
Exactly.
So you got to keep working on stuff. So you send them the tracks, you call them, maybe on a birthday, whatever, hey, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Or maybe you listen to one of those samples being used on a release, and then you go like, hey, bro, I saw you use the sample thing. Bro, I'm so glad you use it. Not to charge them money or to ask for money.
Oh, just give them the shout out. Yeah.
Bro,
like, thank you.
I'm happy that you use it.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Keep putting yourself out there, and things will happen for sure. Man.
Absolutely. Consistency is key to this, you know? Like, hey, like I can preach you about that stuff right now. You know, my podcast, I started this last year. This is going to be episode 81 or 82 around there, you know, and it's not the same thing as when I started making music. That I started to get more attraction, more plays, more views, and all that. This is much a different monster to deal with, but I've been consistent about it, and every week is one new episode, like brand new episode, brand new topic. That's my motto. Every week, nonstop. You know, I cannot skip one Friday without releasing an episode. Even if I don't have anybody to interview, I'll do the episode by myself. And I do like, when I record by myself, I record like 3 different episodes all in one day. And I can just divide it in 3 different days, you know? That's how I do it. Consistency. And because of that consistency, I started out with 0 followers to 130 followers right now on YouTube. And YouTube is hard. YouTube is hard. So, and
there's
agree.
Too much noise.
Oh yeah,
there's too much noise.
Yeah,
that's the issue. Like to cut through all that noise is very difficult. So you have to offer really good content, which I'm pretty sure you're doing. And man, you know, numbers are important. But what's really more important than the numbers is that not those numbers actually mean something through your project. Because I can have 1 million followers and you have 130, right?
Yeah.
But if those 130 are really following you. They might worth more than my million that I bought with stupid shit.
Right. I agree.
Because that million might not bring the results that you will. Let's say we go on the road,
Mm-hmm.
and where's my million? Like suddenly you will realize that all those followers were made out of air. But those 130, like you go on the road and those 130, bro, when you go to the city that those people are, they're going to bring their friends. They're going to bring some other people to see you know, and that's when those 130 followers are worth more than a million. Maybe the brands don't see it that way, but as far as like building your career as a podcaster, as a musician, as a singer, bro, I think that is fundamental. Like you
I agree.
build a solid fan base that they're loyal to your project.
Mm-hmm.
And not loyal to whatever weird shit you had to do to buy their likes or their follows.
Exactly.
And that's something that lately, and this is not a criticism, because I actually posted something the other day in my stories in Instagram to my 130 followers. That it was something like, hey, don't look to the sides, bro. Like people.
Yes, I remember that post.
They don't make it. You gotta look forward. You gotta look to the finish line. You cannot worry about who's on the side.
Exactly.
And that's the mentality that I have. And what really worries me nowadays is that the issue with music is that
it's all brand based, all social media based.
And you see a lot of people like just go right now and visit the IGs of 10 musicians and check out which one really has musician content in it, like singing content and everything. Yes. Everybody is like, oh, I'm eating this pie, I'm doing this thing in the gym, I'm doing that stuff. And at the end, there's no music in their channel. And then you go and what's funny about it is that this is not the Ricky Martins, this is not the Malumas or the Ed Sheerans, or I'm talking about people that want to make it in this industry as singers, and they have not even one post singing in their social media. It's all like doing some other shit, doing like dancing to some other people's music in TikTok through their,
flashing stuff, like here and there, like look at my Gucci belt, my shirt, look at my this, look, I'm drinking, vodka, Ciroc is all we do.
And the money and the whole thing. And then you go like, bro, like, but where's your music? Like, where can I listen to your music? And what makes it even funnier is that then you see the stories that they post and they go like, oh, this industry is a mess. It's like, dude, like you're not part of the industry because you don't want to be part of the industry.
Exactly.
So, and you're criticizing an industry that is huge, and you're not part of it. So don't criticize the industry. You're not part of it because you obviously don't want to be part of it. You want to be famous. You want to be in entertainment. There's nothing wrong about that. But then don't talk about the music industry because you post 10,000 videos in TikTok and have a million followers and no label wants a deal with you. And you go like, but what's happening? The music industry is all bad. Dude, is that you don't belong to the music industry. You belong to the entertainment industry.
Yes.
So be sincere with yourself, and then just like don't put singer in your description. You're an entertainer. You're something else.
Yeah.
Content creator. Like there's some other ways to call yourself. Like don't call yourself a singer. Like don't think that you're a singer just because you say it, and then you don't have music out. You don't put music out. All your posts are about you walking your dogs in the park, bro. Like that's beautiful. Maybe people want to know about that. But then don't criticize the music industry, and then
yeah, where's the talent,
And it all goes back to there's some people are super talented, bro, like super talented doing that. But it's the thing that you were saying about consistency. Like if you want to be a singer, bro, that IG should be full with photos and videos of you singing.
You're doing
and you showcasing your talent, showcasing your music. instead of you dancing to La Canción del Perrito in TikTok, whoever did it,
the Baby Shark crap, the
bro,
Drake,
Baby Shark,
the Drake song like Kiki,
bro, there's nothing bad about it. It's just like that cannot be your main stuff. Like if you do it as a part of your stuff, pero put your music out there, man. What's wrong with having your music in your IG?
I think that's like the biggest problem in which I poke a hole in about this, and like I tell it like it is. Lately, like as a whole, and I'm saying this to every label out there, but the majority of these labels, they rather see clout, views than talent, because they want some of that traffic into their spot, And I put that disclaimer. I'm not saying every label. I'm saying some of them. There's a lot of them. A few of them, they actually do seek talent, and they do want to hear that talent. And if your music is good, it's good. If the quality is there, it's right there for them and their standards. Like, go for it. Like, just go full throttle of it. However, if your music is okay, but you have a lot of attraction, some of these labels, they rather see that attraction because, like, hey, he's getting like 20,000 views on his IG shit. Like, how can we get some of those 20,000 views just to ours? And that's when they come along. It's like, do you do music? Is it okay? We can release something like that. All right, come over here. Just tell everybody to follow us and follow your music on our label and stuff like that.
Can you blame them?
Because who am I to blame? Who am I to blame? If that's the business aspect of it, all right, fine. Then project that that's the business that you guys are looking for. But don't tell me that you're looking for talent if you're just looking for traffic to fill up your views.
I mean, it's a difficult topic because and I'm not gonna mention anybody, but historically, before the social media phenomenon, you would always see artists that they might not be the most talented singers. They might not be the most talented dancers. They might not be the most talented musicians. But if you put all of those things together, they might be a really good entertainer. And record labels, ultimately, their goal is to make money.
Yeah.
And you need an audience for that.
Yeah.
Before it was selling records, right?
Yeah.
And now it's just like shooting a bunch of products and stuff to an audience, right? Through multiple type of deals, and you need that market. And unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, unfortunately for some, I think fortunately for everybody, like I'm really glad that finally the music business changed and we went from a record sale industry to a music industry in the sense that, and I'm going to do a parenthesis here in the conversation, but in the past, and this is the issue with music and that's why it's so difficult to make money out of it. And this is something we need to understand. And once we understand it, we're going to go like, oh shit. And now that might help you do music with your music is the fact that we always, as an industry, told the public that the value was in the medium that contained the music.
Right.
Okay? Like when you went to a record store and you bought a record, you were like, oh, I'm buying a record. Like I'm buying a physical
CD,
thing that I can touch.
Vinyl. Yes, something that I can listen to.
That I can touch, that
physically,
I can play, that I can read the little booklet. So it was something physical that you were buying. You were under the impression that you were buying that. What you were buying really was a license to listen what was incorporated into that thing. You were not buying a record, bro. Like you were licensing.
Interesting.
Music, which is an ethereal concept, is something that's not physical. The medium in which the music was stamped or fixated, it is a physical thing. But you really were buying a license to listen to music. But we never explained that way.
Right.
So what happened was this: when the whole Napster
era, yeah.
issue came, the Napster era, which, by the way, I was pro Napster always, which is weird because I don't know if you know this. I never say this, but I'm an attorney. Like, I went to law school and I studied this whole thing. And when I was in law school in Chicago, I was actually, like, the whole Napster thing was happening. And I was having a class actually on intellectual property, and we were discussing these topics because the whole Napster case was happening. It was 98, 99, and I remember the only person in that freaking class that was defending what they were doing, it was me, because it's really against copyright and against the licenses. But in reality, it was a technology that if you actually use it in a good way, you could have benefited the music industry way more. The only thing is, like, we attack it immediately because we didn't know, and all the record labels were scared, and the sales starting to go down.
Right.
But what we didn't realize was the sales started to go down because the public's perception was the music didn't cost shit. Music was free. Now that I don't have to pay for a physical thing, why do I have to pay for the music if I can get it through an MP3 online? Because before, it was a piece of vinyl with some booklets and stuff that I was buying, and for the public, that's what had the value. In reality, the value was in the music, not in the freaking vinyl. The vinyl cost shit next to the music, but the public didn't perceive it that way because we never explained it that way. So that whole culture about, like, sales, album sales and vinyl sales and record sales and CD sales is actually what destroyed the music industry. It wasn't Napster. It wasn't LimeWire. It wasn't the peer-to-peer. It was the fact that we were giving more value to the physical container that had the music in it than to the music, which the value was in the music, not in the vinyl. So it was too late when they started realizing that, oh shit, it's the music what's valuable. It's not the vinyl. But now people were with that concept in their minds that, why do I have to pay for music? I'm not buying a vinyl. I'm just getting the music. Music is air. Yeah, bro, music is air, but it took $1 million to produce that freaking song. Yeah. And that artist has to eat, that engineer has to put bread on the table, that musician has to put bread on the table. Yeah. Everybody
who worked on it has to eat it on the table. Like, they need to have some sort of a piece of it, because if not, then all their time and effort were for nothing.
For nothing. So when people started realizing, oh shit, the value is in the music. The value is not in the vinyl. And when you realize that, then the music industry takes, like, a completely different value, and you start seeing that your work as a musician is important. It's really important. No matter if your music's going to end up in a vinyl, no matter if your music's going to end up in a CD or a pen drive or a flash drive or in Spotify or whatever. Like, this is a music industry. It's the music what moves the industry. So the whole thing about the sales, the culture of the sales and all that stuff, actually, like, it was a bad thing, because we were selling something physical when it was really not a physical thing. And now with my ADHD, I don't know how to come back to that thing that I said at the beginning, because this was a parenthesis, a very long parenthesis,
right?
A topic that we were discussing before.
And I music labels. We were talking about music labels, or how we believe that, part of the business is now that music.
Oh,
now you remember?
No, but okay. But the label thing, bro, like, I think the labels are needed. We need the record labels. I'm a firm believer that if the record label was able to refocus, was able to reaccommodate their structure, if the record label was able to redesign its business to better serve the artists and to better serve the audience, that record label is needed. And I'm talking about record labels, not like the old school record labels, that they were probably going to develop artists. And this is a huge misconception about, especially from, like, newer artists, that, but I'm just waiting to be discovered by somebody. And that when somebody discovers me, they're going to develop me. Bro, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, you don't have it. And if I'm a record label, I want to see you having it. And the way to see you having it is put music out. Behave like an artist. Like, communicate like an artist. Be a freaking artist. Be true to yourself. And that's going to generate some traction. And that's when I'm going to be interested. And now record labels, instead of being developers, I think record labels nowadays
are more of a publishers, you know. They're record labels are now more of a, do you have the talent, do you have the whole package, all right, we'll put it out there so now our viewers can listen to your stuff and they can come over to you. Booster, yeah,
they should be booster. They should be a booster. It's like a platform, like to launch you,
that's it,
to an audience that you will not reach if you don't have that launch.
Exactly.
Pero you have to have that audience, like that. You have to have a certain amount of audience. You have to have a product. It's like we work with signed artists and we work with a lot of unsigned artists. Working with signed artists is pretty easy because you have a structure right there. Like everything that you do falls under a structure. Working with independent artists is more difficult because that structure is not there. There's a lot of, even though like people say, oh, the record labels, it's a pain to work with them and the whole thing. It's two different worlds. There's no one is better than the other one. They're just different. Record labels, they have their stuff organized, and even though things like take forever to happen, like you can be producing a song today and sending it. We wanted this artist going to sing it. That song probably will never be released, or if you're lucky, it will be released in 8 months, and you go like, bro, like you've been holding up like on that song for 8 months or 2 years. I worked in a song, bro. I worked in a song as an engineer for a major artist. That song was picked for that major artist project. Then it didn't make the cut for her album. Shit. Oh, but listen, 8 years passed by, 8 years, and it was picked by another major artist, and it was released under that other major artist's album. I'm not gonna say names but it took 8 years, bro, for that song to be released.
That's insane.
It is insane, and this is big record labels. So yes, there's some pros and cons, but the issue with the independent artists is that they're looking for somebody to discover them when they should be the ones proactively working. To have their audience discover them, not a record label. You don't want a record label. You don't want to be discovered by a record label. You want to be discovered by your freaking audience, bro. You want to be discovered by people that you know that will like your music, not a record label. Don't work with that mentality. Work with the mentality that you want to appeal to an audience. You want to appeal to some people, and the independent artists, especially when they come here at first and we start talking and we talk about a bunch of things, they all tell you the same thing. No, I'm just waiting they say a producer because they don't know anything best. Like I'm waiting for a producer to discover me. It's like, yo, producer's not going to put money into you.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
You're waiting for a different thing. The producer, if anything, wants money out of your project.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
exactly.
So, bro, it's a reality.
Yeah, and it's good thing that you mentioned something very important about that, because it's never been talked about these independent artists. Like a lot of these people, they see it like that. I could be one of those people that I used to think like that said like, I'm just waiting for a label to discover me or whatnot. But if I just release my music and wait for one of them pop out, nothing's gonna happen. I had to actually go out, network, and talk to artists, talk to producers, talk to A&Rs, and talk about my project and show them it's like, hey, this is what I do, and then that's how I be able to get some of these labels releases, you know. But it wasn't just like I'm waiting for it. And throughout that road, I learned that shit. Like I see that I waste so much time and so much effort and energy. I'm waiting for one of my sons to give it to these labels. I'm hoping for one of these labels to have it, when I could have just released that from the get-go.
Yeah.
And have that consistency. Let's say, I'll release a song every month. Every month is going to be one top quality song every month. And have that consistency every month. And maybe I'll release 2 per month. And so on. Until people are starting to like, holy shit. Like this guy is actually releasing music every month. And like every month it's a new song. Holy crap. And they like it. Yeah. And by doing that, you're creating that traffic. And that's how people start talking until one of those talks will get to the ears to a producer, to an artist, and they'll be like, yo, that song is fire. Yo, who's this guy? Like, whoa, look at this. Look at his catalog. Look at this. And then the artist starts to play it. They fuck with it. The A&Rs are going to ask questions. It's like, is that your song? It's like, nah, man. This guy make this song, bro.
Yeah.
And that's how you get to do it, you know? It's very wild that, you know, like not many people think like that. They always hope that, you know, I want the superstar dream, you know? Now I'm gonna get discovered and it's gonna do everything and everything's gonna make sense. I'm gonna make the millions. But
okay, you're gonna be discovered, and who am I gonna sell that?
Exactly.
Who am I gonna sell you to?
Exactly.
If you don't have that fan base.
Exactly.
And this is not, these times that we're living are so fast paced that I have no time to develop you. Like a regular, like I'm thinking like a regular label right now. Bro, I have no time to develop you. I don't have a budget to develop you because I have to put my budget now in promotion. And promotion nowadays is way more expensive than it was in the past because I have to cut through so much noise that I have to really invest a huge amount of money in your music so it cuts through the thing. So when you come to me with nothing, I'm going to tell you, yeah, bro, like you're really good, but I cannot sell you. So help yourself, go back, build an audience. And that's why I'm telling you, like, this is a conversation we have all the time. Like this week, we had it with two people. Bro, you have to, you want to be discovered by a label. Yeah. Okay. That's wrong. You want to be discovered by an audience. You want to be discovered by your fans.
Exactly.
Bro, by the people. Can you put your music out there, bro?
Exactly. Like, look at that perfect example. Russ. You heard of the hip hop artist, rapper Russ? That guy basically, he was he still is an independent artist, but he started out on SoundCloud. He started as one of those SoundCloud rappers, you know, back when it started. But here's the thing. He made beats. He released those beats every week. Every week he released beats. And then he started to start rapping on those beats. Every week he released his song. Every week. And people were like trying to get to him, like say like, yo, I want you. But obviously the label wants you and your whole package. And he was like, nah, I'm good. Because I already got my audience. I already got my people. These people are following me. These people are wherever I'm gonna perform, they're gonna be there. I don't really need your help. And the reason why is because he found the formula. He found the people that he needs to talk to for them to release his music. And then he took off. He took off and made minutes. And he still is to this day an independent artist. He never actually looked up for like, I want our label to look at me like, no, I'm not waiting for a label to come over here. No, I'm going to do this with or without a label's help. And I'm just going to keep doing. And he kept doing every week, new song. And obviously, since the beats were fire, people start talking. And like you said, it becomes a wildfire at one point. Everybody's talking about him. Everybody like that. And
I remember Macklemore.
Macklemore was another one. Yeah.
Like that. Like he independently made it to the Grammys and won. With no label behind. And bro, well, it was Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, but that, bro, like they were rejected by so many labels. And they said, you know what, we're gonna do our shit. And they put together a beautiful album with also like a physical, beautiful album with a great design and the whole thing. And they ended up winning the Grammys that year, being an independent artist. So it is possible. It is perfectly possible. You just have to focus on what's important, which is the music.
Right.
What's important is the music. What's important is not because like, see it this way. If you're concentrated, if you're putting all your resources in terms of energy and time into building an audience using TikTok and you dancing to other people's music, they're interested in watching you dance to other people's music. They're not interested in your music. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you should be releasing your music. And from time to time, it is okay to dance to other people's music. But bro, like people, like if you build an audience based on you cooking cakes and you're a singer, that people only wants to see you cooking cakes. They don't want, they have no business with your music. So you have to put your energy, your time, and all your powers into your music.
Everything, man.
It is important. The whole thing about the followers is important, but as it is important as long as those followers are following you for your music, not because you're a pretty face doing a pretty dance in TikTok, bro.
It's like if your music is great and people fuck with your music, then keep showing it, keep sending that. Just show the world your talent. Yeah. Don't sidetrack them and make a fool out of yourself. Like, no, it's okay to do that once in a while, like you said, but keep your eye on the prize. Like, and I like the quote that you posted the other day that we talked about it earlier today. I'm like, don't look sideways. Like, keep moving forward. My way is like, I'm a shark. Shark swing forward, not backwards, not sideways. Yeah. They always swing forward all the time. All the time. Keep moving forward. That's the best way you can do it, man. And just put yourself out there. Like, how many times have I ever interviewed big successful artists out there? Or not just, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Big artists, producers, YouTubers, cosplayers who are well-known, filmmakers. I talked to these guys and all of them said the same thing. Put your stuff out there. Yeah. Get your stuff out there. Like, it's the only way for you to get discovered. But I mean, it's the only way for you to actually like see people like, oh my God, this guy's talented. I fuck with this guy. I wanna see him go.
And you know something? Put it out there even though it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Because if you're waiting for the moment that song is perfect,
then
you will never release it.
Yeah.
That song's not going to be perfect ever. You have to abandon the song and then just release it. Mm-hmm. It has to be perfect. Like, your analysis of what is a perfect production has to be made taking into consideration, did you give your best? Mm-hmm. At that time, what was that the best thing you could do at that time? And if your answers are yes, you should release that, bro. Mm-hmm. Because if you keep going back now, like, if I had to go back a production that I did a month ago, I'm gonna review it. I'm gonna change some shit.
Yeah, it never fails. It never fails.
So even though I consider at that time that, bro, this is perfect, if I listen to it right now,
you'll change something.
I'm gonna change something. Yeah. So imagine that. Okay, I put it there, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna release it in 2 months, and then before I'm about to submit it for release, I review it again. I go like, oh shit, I should change this thing. Okay, so let me just sleep on it a little bit more. And then, bro, it becomes an infinite project.
To a point.
And all your life can go in a song. Mm-hmm. Like, that's, oh yeah, it's the perfect song. Yeah, but it took you 70 years to do, and now you're dead. So, bro, it's like, release your stuff. Release your stuff. If it's good quality, if it's well done, if it's the best you could do at the time with the resources and knowledge you have, release the fucking song.
I agree.
There's no other way. There's no other way. Perfection gets in the way of completion. A lot of people say that. And I think it is a really good phrase. And I think, and obviously, coño, I also sin of that thing. Like, sometimes you go like, oh no, let's review this stuff. And at some point you go, no. It's up. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
right.
bro.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get sick, bro. You're going to get sick. Y no vas a release nunca that thing.
That's why I had to do with my songs that I just started releasing this year. Like, I said, like, dude, this is the year I have to release one of the songs. If I don't do it, then it will never happen. Like, it will always going to be shoved inside the drawer and never to be open, never to release. Like, I need to put out something. Same thing with the podcast. Like, if you look at my podcast from the beginning, I didn't have a webcam before. I didn't have a camera. It was just me and my audio projecting. I didn't have this microphone. I had a Audio Technica Ep81. You know, it's not the best one, but it's not bad either. It was just so. Yeah. But you can see from the beginning of my podcast how I started it all the way to how I grew at it. there was never a perfect episode. Every episode, I keep improving myself. I keep upgrading myself. I investing. Like that's how it works. Like unless if not, I would have this mentality like this is how my podcast should have looked like from the first episode. Then I would have never released all the other 80 episodes that I've already released.
No lo hubieras tenido listo tampoco.
Yeah.
To get to that point, it's like, bro, it's like this place. Like this is our temple right here. Like this, I'm in my studio, that took years and years to put together, and we still have to do shit to it.
Right.
We still have to, o sea, pero, bro, like nosotros empezamos with very few things, and we've been incorporating stuff to it. Y incluso like with our laptops and our personal computers y toda la cosa y los instrumentos y lo que puedes ver ahí y tal. If we have waited to have what we have now to open the studio and to start producing stuff, bro, we would have never had this. O sea, nunca hubiéramos tenido nada. Bro, I was talking to a student today. Y él me estaba preguntando que cómo empecé yo a producir, like how was my process to start producing, like at what point I knew that I wanted to produce and not do something else. Y bro, o sea, circumstances happen. Y I said yes, bro. And was I prepared to produce that album? I wasn't. I was not prepared. Pero at that time I was prepared with certain amount of knowledge, with certain amount of experience, y tenía ideas, ¿entiendes? Y tenía ideas y I was committed to make it work. Entonces, yo no estaba preparado musicalmente, so what did I do? Well, I hired an amazing musical director. No estaba preparado, so, bro, si yo hubiera esperado para tener el conocimiento que yo tengo hoy, para producir ese álbum hace 20 años atrás, no lo hubiera hecho, bro. Yo hubiera dicho que no. Es como todo, bro. Like your work at UM. Brother, uno nunca está preparado para el trabajo que le dan. Like never. That's the reality. Like, and you realize that when you get to es como, bro, like we were talking about that. Okay. Te graduaste de SAE. Beautiful. Like amazing. They give you the tools. Vas, haces tu internship, blah, blah, blah. La primera sesión con big artist, and they go like, hey, I need you to patch this thing, to patch that thing, and to print the stamps at the end. And you're going to go like, what? What are you talking about? Claro, probablemente no vas a preguntar eso because you don't want to look bad at that point. So you're not going to ask. Maybe you Google like, what is a stem? Bro, and we're never prepared for any job. We do have the knowledge to survive, and to survive in a very nice way, to make the best possible work at that moment. Pero siempre sale algo, bro. Like cada sesión, like I have a session just after this conversation, and you do your pre-production, like you know what's gonna happen. Like I know I'm gonna be recording vocals. The artist is actually landing right now, so I don't know if the artist is coming tired but they're coming from the airport straight to the studio, so they might be tired. I have no idea what am I gonna encounter.
Right.
So a lo mejor es algo que a mí no me ha pasado nunca, pero por lo menos uno tiene las herramientas, ¿entiendes? Right. Those tools. Ahora, yo estoy preparado para la sesión. I don't know. I will know when the session happens.
And that's something that many people need to learn about that stuff. Like you should always be ready to go or be prepared for anything. Even always prepare for the worst. Even so, because that's how especially in my line of duty as a live sound engineer. Like every minute. Like what happens is like a microphone goes out. Like you need to have a microphone ready to go. That's it. Because you need to keep the show going. You always need to be prepared for everything. If not,
I have such a respect for you guys. Like everybody that work live music for me is a freaking hero, bro. Like I don't have the nerves to do it. It gives me freaking anxiety attacks. O sea, the whole, like you guys are incredible. Like the way you approach the works, and I say this to all my friends that are like front of the house or monitor engineers or even like the venue engineer or they do AV or whatever, bro. Cualquier cosa que sea en vivo, it's crazy amazing. Y es lo que tú dices. O sea, imagínate tú que yo digo eso, que mi trabajo es en estudio. Like, at least we have certain amount of time to solve the stuff.
Right.
I don't have an audience right here.
Right.
I mean, my audience is the artist, and they have to be,
Right.
or a record label or something. So whoever. No, pero bro, like, man, I'm not live. I'm not live. It's like I might take 5 minutes to solve an issue with a mic.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, 5 minutes in a show is a freaking song.
No, yeah. 5 minutes in a show, like no, you're done. Like,
you're done.
Yeah.
O sea, por eso, bro. Like, I think we are prepared, but we're never prepared at the same time. Like,
we're in this constant limbo all the time.
We plan for stuff to happen, but suddenly something unplanned happens.
It always does. That never fails. There's no such thing as a perfect show. There's always going to be like at least one. It could be the tiniest little flaw, or it could be the biggest flaw that just happened.
Mira, it's funny because there was one time I was working in this big studio. I was doing the stems for actually like the soundtrack of a movie.
Right.
The music soundtrack of a movie that I had the opportunity to work with. Y yo estaba haciendo los stems for the mixing. I didn't make.
Congratulations. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, bro. I was assisting the mixing engineer, and he was doing this stuff because I was the engineer, the studio engineer.
Yeah,
bro. And out of nowhere, a person is actually the studio manager, and he has been in this business for years, and he's a very, like, he respects everybody's work. Like, he's very demanding, and he respects everybody's work. Like, he doesn't get into nobody's like work in the studio, none of that. That day, I don't know, like his mind was somewhere else. So he came to the studio, and I was almost done with printing the stems, which it was a hybrid thing. So there was things in the box, and there was a lot of outboard gear, like, that had to be printed. Bro, he came and we started talking, and well, the stems were going well. And at some point he went like, oh, and he pushed a button out of nowhere, bro. And he pushed the button and he turned off a full rack of gear.
Oh, no.
In the middle of the stem thing. No. And at that moment, but he pushed it, bro, for no reason. Until this day, if I talk to him, I always remember that thing, and I tell him, and he laughs, and he still apologizes, bro, because I had to redo the whole thing.
Oh, shit.
But the thing is, bro, I was never prepared for that to happen. I was never prepared for that to happen. And that's something that, okay, you prepare for several things, but then something comes in, and he knows that he shouldn't have done that. And till this day, he doesn't know why he did it. Like, he was, o sea, pasó, brother. Like, it was something that the freaking universe pushed this guy to put one finger on that power button and unpower the whole rack, bro. Y the moment that the speakers went like, boom.
Oh, no.
That's what, he looked at me and he said, oh, shit, bro. And he started like, bro, I'm so sorry. I didn't. And we're talking with the studio manager. And I'm so sorry. I have no idea why I did this. It's like, bro, chill. We're going to solve this stuff. I just got to start from the beginning of the song. I'll just bring the stems again. Don't worry about it. And the guy was like, oh my God, man. Like, I'm so sorry. So anything can happen.
Yeah.
But anything can freaking happen. Anything. You have to be prepared for it. Like, sometimes you're recording an artist, and then you tell them, hey, that was a good take, but can we do another one? I'm pretty sure you can make it. You can make a better take.
Right.
You got it in you. Come on. And then they start crying. And then you go like, is everything okay? And then they go like, no, I'd be having the worst day of my life. And then you have to, like, how can you, like, school doesn't prepare you for that.
Yeah, no.
So then you have to be a friend, a significant other,
a psychiatrist,
a
strict, a lawyer, a coach, a mentor.
Man, and then they sit here and they go like, hey, I'm having a really hard time. Life is whatever, and then you go, bro, and like we're not really prepared for that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So and that's why I say that we're never prepared for the work that we're doing. Even though we have the tools, like we do have the tools, and in that sense we're prepared. But man, this is what makes this profession also pretty cool. Like you don't know what's going to happen. You can plan for a lot of things, but there's everything something different.
I agree.
Which I like. I like that part. Pero bro, like live sound, it gives me the creeps.
I mean, at first it was scary. At first it was scary because you always get the butterflies on your stomach because once something wrong goes wrong, and if it doesn't get fixed, you expect that's gonna go wrong all the way, And I had so many scares. I had so many shitty situations, but at the end of the day, I overcome them, and I learned how to be patient about it, and I learned how to quick think, solve the situation in a matter of seconds. And now, even to this day, when I'm doing my live sounds, I'm sitting on our conferences and whatnot. I always prepare myself, like sound check and everything. And just to this day, there's still times in which something goes wrong, but I'm always prepared. Like it became automatically. I trained myself to be like that. And you're right. School doesn't prepare you for that stuff. That stuff prepares you on life when you're already out there in the field. And
they can't. I mean, and it's not that school is bad. The school cannot prepare you for that.
Yeah,
it gives you the tools to solve the issue, but it really doesn't prepare you for that. It doesn't prepare you for a singer that's crying in a booth because they had a bad day. It doesn't prepare you for it doesn't prepare you for a fight between let's say you're an engineer and sometimes the producers in the room, the artist is in the room, they're having a disagreement and it turns nasty, and you like school doesn't prepare you for that.
Yeah, no.
Like, what do you do at that point? Well, I usually give them the space, and then I just go out and, hey guys, I'm gonna go out for a little while and stuff like that, and it's complicated.
It is, man. I agree.
But it's a beautiful job, man. I'm glad we're doing that. I'm glad that you are actually doing that and you're happy doing it.
No regrets, man. No regrets up to this point, man. I love doing what I'm doing, man, and I'm gonna continue to do it, man. I ain't gonna stop. Especially this podcast game, man. This is something that I see myself in, not in 10, 9, 20, 30, and 40 years. I can see myself even as an old man talking shit about this type of stuff, man. And so, yeah, we're gonna wrap this up right now because I know you got a session happening very soon. So we're gonna leave this with this one final question that I got for you, man. Before we leave, let's just say that you're in class and you got a student that's been like, your little right hand man, like your teacher's pet or whatnot, and he's been following everything about you. He's learning a lot, and he graduates. And in the graduation, you shake his hand. You're like, man, you did a great job. Congratulations. I wish you the best, man. And he's like, thank you. I could have not done it without you. However, I don't know how this is gonna what's gonna happen in my future. What advice can you give me in my future endeavors? What are 3 things that you will tell him?
3 things?
Yes.
Wow, bro.
I know. This is one question that I do say to everybody at the end.
Bro, be true to yourself always. Always. And that encompassed a lot of things. Be true to yourself always means be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Know yourself.
Right.
Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself is fundamental. That's part of be true to yourself, I think. Make sure you build a very nice support group around. And by very nice, I don't mean people that que te alcahuete todo. Like,
right.
I'm not saying people that go like
yes people, like yes people, Like they're always gonna say yes.
It's not yes people. It's people that really care for you. That is important. This is a very heavy profession, and you need a support group. Yeah. You need a support group. People that love you, people that are not afraid to tell you the truth in your face, and no matter what, you need that. People that bring you down because, bro, like this job can get to your head pretty easily.
Yeah.
One day you're working with Pepito Pere, who is a nobody. Next day you're working with Ariana Grande, J-Lo, Pharrell, a bunch of other people. And then your head becomes huge and you become, ¿sabes? Se te infla la cabeza y te vuelves un globo y te vas volando, bro. Like now you're not useful to anybody.
Yeah.
So you need people that bring you down to earth, not to discourage you or anything, sino people que no que te critiquen ni nada, sino gente que cuando tú estés con esa gente, sientes que estés attached to the ground, even though you're flying. You gotta fly, but there has to be a part of you that's attached to the ground, to reality.
Don't let the fantasy and the ego go unchecked. You know, have those people that doesn't enable you to do those things.
Yeah.
That doesn't enable you, that they're always right there. Like if they see something weird, they see something that they don't feel right, they go ahead and say, hey, man, this doesn't look right. Like let's just do something else, you know, like some
group and people that supports.
Yeah.
And the third thing will be don't give up.
Very important.
But don't give up, and this is gonna sound weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a hard don't give up. It is don't give up can also mean maybe your goal wasn't the right goal. And if you have to change it, you have to have the wisdom to change it and to pursue that. But whatever it is, don't give up. Like part of don't giving up is realigning yourself with realistic goals. Part of don't giving up is that. Because if you have unrealistic goals that we call dreams, but they're not really dreams, they're unrealistic goals. Because we all have dreams and stuff like that, but we can bring those dreams down to earth, make it goals, and start working towards them, right? The issue here is that sometimes life pushes you in different directions.
Yeah.
And you have to be flexible enough to realize that you're not giving up on your dream. You're just modifying the goal, and you might make your dream true with a slightly different goal. Maybe that goal wasn't taking you to the real dream that you had. So don't give up.
Yeah.
And don't give up doesn't mean stay with your same goal that you had when you were 5 years old. That's not that. It's be realistic and keep fighting for that goals that you want. That's how I see it. And some other on the side that I would tell him, be respectful.
Yeah. Be humble.
Nope.
Yeah,
be humble.
Nice.
Be nice. Don't fuck anybody.
Yeah.
In this industry or any industry. Like do not do shitty stuff to people.
Yes.
Be a good person. And there was another one. Oh, no matter how small the work you do, it's always important. If you start like an intern in a studio and you have to do the runs and you have to clean restrooms and you have to clean windows and bro, do it with pride and do it well. Every single job on this is a production line. Every single job on that line is important. Very important, bro. Like we don't realize when we're interning, we don't realize how important is the fact that the restroom is clean. It's super important for a session, bro. Like super. We don't realize like the windows clean or the importance of getting the food order right. Bro, it's really important. People think it's bullshit. It is not bullshit. It is important. And those jobs, as small as they seem, they're very important. Very, very important. Do it with pride, man.
It builds character.
It does. And not only that, you're contributing to the session.
Exactly.
You don't see it that way, but it is true. Listen, like that took me some time to realize this concept about every job being important. When I started interning, I was going to send everything to shit. I was like, hell no, I'm not doing this. I'm not cleaning restrooms. I didn't go through all this sacrifice to clean windows. Like, bro, I'm not doing it. I was very wrong. My support group, my wife told me, dude, you're wrong. Keep doing that thing. That is what is going to take you in the studio. Get your shit together and do this thing. And she was right. Bro, my internship lasted like 2 months. My internship. I did an internship. It was meant to be like 6 months. I did 2 months. At the end of it was two and a half months. At the end of those 2.5 months, I was in the studio recording people. And because I didn't quit. Because my support group didn't let me quit. Because I was firm on a goal. I didn't give up. So I'm just giving that person an advice based on my personal journey. It's not something that I have read. It's not something that, and bro, like be respectful with people. Love.
100%, man.
Bro, love is the most important power on earth. Love what you do. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Mental health, bro, is fundamental.
Yes. Especially in this industry. Especially in
mental
this
health,
industry.
Bro, like if we all have to deal with certain amount of mental health issues.
every day.
And you got to take care every day, bro. You got to take care of that. That's fundamental. Eat well. The non-sleep group, the thing I've done it doesn't work, bro. At some point, you have to have some rest. It is important.
Your body is asking for it. Your brain is asking for it, man.
And yeah, and one thing that it might piss a lot of people though, but it gets to a point that you realize that all we do in this industry. I mean, okay, I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna say something that's gonna refute that thing that I'm gonna say. But
okay,
both are true though.
Okay,
nothing that we do is that important. There's nothing that we do that is so important that you have to kill yourself in the process. Nothing. There's nothing that we do. There's no song that you're working. There's no beat that you're working on that is worth your mental health and your health.
I know where you're going with this. Yes. Yeah.
We're not as a surgeon operating a brain, bro. Like it. Okay. So take care of yourself first. There's nothing more important than you and your family and your friends.
Yes.
That's the most fundamental thing. Then music. Although music is very jealous. So apart from yourself, music has to be the most important thing. Pero una cosa sí es cierta. Now to kind of not refuting the previous stuff.
Right.
Pero a song can save a life.
Yeah.
A song can save a life, and every single day a song saves somebody's life.
Yeah.
Every single day. So yes, it is important. It's very important what we do. You don't know when a song of yours is going to save somebody's life. So put them out, release them, work on that. Treat them with respect. Treat music with respect. Is bringing bread to your table, bro. Music has to be respected. It is a religion. With that being said, nothing that we do is worth your mental health and your health. So take care of yourselves.
I agree. Look, I do understand where you're going, where you're doing, and what you're trying to explain to them. Like, yeah, like every song is amazing. It's important. Like it saves someone's life, and someone had a shitty day, and your song, because of your contribution, that song just saved that life and just make that person better. But at the same time, like, don't kill yourself for that song. You know, like the song is a song. There's 20 million other songs out there. Like, don't kill yourself. Like, don't put so much pressure into it to make a song or to make that song like wow. Like,
yeah,
just let the flow go. You know,
let the flow go. Take your losses. Take your losses.
Yeah.
Don't make it a big deal. Bro, like we don't have an operating room with a patient that's going to die.
Yeah,
we don't have to deal with that. That's horrible. Like dealing with that is horrible. We don't have that. So, bro, like don't think that what you do is so important that you have to sacrifice your health.
Right.
Period. Take care of your health. I think that is the best advice.
I agree, man. And thank you very much, Mr. G, to coming over to the podcast, man. It's an honor and privilege for you to come over here and have this conversation.
Same here. It's an honor to be on your
man. We'll come back again to another time with me whenever you feel much more calmer. We can sit down and have a more meaningful and deeper conversation, and we can talk a little bit more. So thank you very much.
We should do the next one. We should do it from here, bro. So we can.
I'm up for it.
This is an open invitation. Let's see when we can coordinate it.
Yeah.
And then we can do it from the studio and with some studio vibes.
Absolutely, man. I'm more than open to do so. Thank you for the invitation. Let's make it happen sometime in the future whenever we're actually free to do this stuff. Before we go, plug yourself out. Let the people know where they can follow you or they can find you, and let the people know what they can expect from you in the future.
Okay. You can follow me at Lefeld Music in Instagram. That's Lefeld Music. I'm pretty sure Wolv is gonna send the social media as well. You can also follow us on Hit Central Records in Instagram as well. This is the structure that we have, and we do production with it and the recording studio. I don't check Facebook or none of that. I have a Twitter. I never use it.
That's fine.
Please, Twitter people. I have a good friend that works in Twitter. Don't hold it against me. Never use Twitter. What's coming up? There's a bunch of things that we're doing that are coming up, but there's one very specific one that hopefully will come up at the beginning of next year, which is this thing that we're doing with Christian Pagan.
Yeah.
I hope that's coming. We're doing a song with Kiana Key as well, which is an artist that we already did a song with her called Love in the Elevator.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing another song. I cannot reveal the title, but it's really good. Hopefully it's going to be out mid next year for the summer.
The summer hit, the summer jam.
The summer jam. It's going to be dope. We're also working in a very nice project, which are mantras for like yoga and stuff. It's very interesting. So we're working on a couple of things, but I mean, I'm looking forward to all of them. But the one with Christian is a very personal project of us, and I think it's going to put some good music out there. That's all we want. So yeah, I'll let you know when.
Oh yes, please let me know. Let me know, and so I can put it out there in my socials. Let the people know where they can find it.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much, Mr. G, man. Like I said, we're gonna do this again on the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, you all heard it. So next episode is gonna be for probably a first time studio podcast inside in real life, guys, because all my podcast interviews has been from Zoom, so you might be the first one in my show.
Oh, nice.
Let's go.
Bro, we gotta make it happen
now we gotta make it happen.
Now we gotta make it happen.
So
no, before the end of this year, we're making it.
Boom. Let's go. So, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you to everybody that actually watches the podcast. Thank you. Keep supporting it. Keep listening to it. And man, thank you. Oh, of course. Thank you, Mr. G, for coming over. Thank you guys for listening. Remember, every week is a brand new episode with a brand new topic. So be always remember to like and subscribe for your weekly episodes at the Lone Wolv Podcast for SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And of course, my YouTube channel at the Lone Wolv Podcast. Or you can also follow it at lonewolfpod.com. That's lonewolfpod.com. Comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts. Share your experiences. If you guys got a specific topic that you want me to cover or you want Mr. G to cover, please let us know in the comments down below, and we'll try our best to cover it on the next episode. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces.
Oh, thank you so much. Take care.